This whole coronavirus thing is pretty scary. Worldwide, hundreds of thousands of people are getting sick and the death toll keeps rising. The stock market is tanking, people are losing their jobs, and we're all stuck at home. That's why I'm still shooting episodes on my phone in my apartment with no production crew. Social distancing, right? The only positive is that because I'm working from home, I don't have to wear pants. I mean, I am wearing pants. It's just knowing that I don't have to, that's pretty cool. Now, I do realize that I am lucky that I can work from home though, because a lot of people can't. As a recent college grad myself, it's weird to see how messed up school is right now too. Most are closed in the US and they probably won't open again this school year. So you've got millions of students stuck at home. Now that doesn't just mean that they have a really long spring break and everybody's just chilling. This is no vacation. Uncertainty is cranked up to an 11. The normal routine of going to class, taking tests, doing homework, that's all out the window. It's been replaced by new stressors like family members who might get sick or might have to work with people who are sick, a parent losing a job, even more everyday stuff like SATs being rescheduled or prom being canceled. And access to guidance counselors or school therapists to help deal with all those disruptors aren't available now either. So, how do you deal with so much uncertainty in the time of Corona? To get a better sense of the uncertainty that students are going through, I thought, why don't I go ahead and talk to some students? So I had a video chat with a bunch of high schools from the Bay Area during the first week of our stay-at-home order. Most had been out of school for a week or two and were still adjusting to their new reality of spending every day at the crib.
I'm kind of stressed out about prom, my graduation, and even will I have to go to online school next semester when I start college?
My father has stage 4 colon cancer, and the treatment it takes a toll on your immune system, and so it is concerning to have my father go out and not be able to distance himself socially just to support my family.
How do you cope with being alone with your thoughts for this long? Because I don't want to be on my phone, but then sometimes I don't have motivation to do anything, so I'm just sitting around.
How do we still stay optimistic? How do we not worry about this almost post-apocalyptic world we're kind of stumbled our way into with this virus?
So how do we deal with all this uncertainty? To figure that out, I jumped on another video chat with Natalie Todd. She's a psychologist who runs an adolescent mood and anxiety clinic at the University of California, San Francisco.
How do you know when your anxiety is appropriate to a situation? You know what I'm saying?
Look, this COVID stuff is super new. It's totally normal to feel anxious about the virus, about the way it's impacting our life. I think if someone is losing sleep over this, is having nightmares, is not able to focus on their schoolwork, is avoiding talking to friends, any of those things, I would say that maybe the anxiety is impacting them in a way that might be helpful to check in with someone about or talk to their parents about. But I think some level of anxiety around this is completely expected.
I mean, I remember being a teen and things that were most important to me at the time. And it's just I can't imagine, not being able to potentially not go to my graduation or not go to my prom or, you know what I'm saying, not have the senior night or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? So how would you tell students or help them cope with potentially missing out on that?
Yeah, I think that's really hard and it's so up in the air. I would say is, if it's reassuring to think about the fact that it's not going to just be you, that there is going to be this generation of seniors that are potentially missing graduation and prom in the way that they usually happen. Are there other ways that they can still celebrate in small groups or make new memories and new traditions?
How do you respond to people that are Corona is life or death, so worrying about something like this is, graduation or prom is silly or unimportant? How do you respond to that?
I'm really glad you brought that up because I can imagine that some teens might feel selfish or self-centered, that they're worried about those things when there are people dying, and they're not the same and they're both valid. They're both valid things to be worried about. That's what teens are supposed to care about. That is totally okay and normal.
Dr. Todd gave me 4 general tips on how to deal with all the worry and anxiety that uncertainty can bring up. Tip number 1, establish a routine. Now, it doesn't have to be the same routine you had when you were working or going to school, but you just got to keep a basic schedule of the stuff you got to do. When you're going to go to sleep, when you're going to eat, and when you're going to get your work done. But don't forget to schedule time to, just relax and talk to your friends. That's just as important, maybe even more important. Tip number 2, you gotta reach out to people. It sucks to not be able to hang out in person with your friends, but with technology, you can try to recreate those moments. You know, you can FaceTime over lunch, you can have a karaoke or a dance party. You know, the limits really don't exist anymore since we're all in the house at the same time now. And tip number 3, and this is a great one. If you're a worrier, limit how much time you're spending reading about the coronavirus. It's fine to keep up to date with the latest coronavirus news, but don't just keep sitting there and constantly refreshing your browser over and over again. Me personally, I had to turn off my notifications, you know, for all the news and Twitter, all that stuff. I just turned it off. And tip number 4, use the time you have to stretch yourself a bit. Go online and learn that new language that you hadn't had time for. Order a pizza with pineapple and anchovies. I mean, I'll totally judge you, but it's your thing. Go for it. I mean, I'm personally gonna just work on my baking skills. I have time. I have all the ingredients. I'm about to go crazy. You're in for a treat.
The question that I've been asking all the teams I work with is, you know, what is the potential silver lining here? How can you make lemonade from these COVID lemons?
All right, that's all I got for you for now. Let us know how uncertainty is affecting your life and if any of Dr. Todd's tips seem helpful. Also, what are you doing right now to take care of yourself? Are you coloring by numbers? Are you petting cute dogs? Are you learning to yodel? Tell us in the comments below. And remember, we're all in this together and we'll get through it together. Take care of yourself and each other. I'm your host, Miles Best. Till next time, everybody. Peace out.